Hi, I'm Eric Lanask. We're here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at ITEXPO 2016. In the studio with me today from Simplewan is Eric Knight. Eric, great to have you on the program. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Eric. Thanks for having me back.
So, you're talking on our cybersecurity track this week. I know it's something that you're very, very interested in and have some significant thoughts on. And it seems like it's one of the topics that we just can't get away from every day, every 2 days, maybe every 3 days if it's a slow week. We're reading about another, most of the time, fairly significant or major breach.
Yeah, it's happening a lot more. It's not making the news as much because it is so frequent, and it's affecting all walks of business, from the small dry cleaner down the street to your big enterprise and corporate stuff. And we'll talk in the talk today, but it comes down to 10 years ago, you'd have a hacktivist or somebody doing it for fun, and they'd be like, hey, look what I did. And today it's about money. It's about money and hacking for a cause, or destroying a company because you don't believe in their values, or stealing their intellectual property. I saw one not too long ago where they stole a car in China, and they had it out to market, manufactured identically before the actual manufacturer who designed it did. That is the kind of stuff that's going on out there. And I don't think, especially when you talk about smaller businesses, even the medium sector, they're not taking it as seriously as they should. It's still, what we see is it's still second or third on their checklist. I need this, I need that. Cybersecurity should be number one, and it's not yet.
It almost seems like, and certainly we can all agree that there are several things that companies need. So maybe instead of having, an ordered checklist, you gotta have 2 or 3 things on that front line, and cybersecurity, I would agree, should be one of them.
Compliance is helping that along. So you've heard about the changes with PCI, which is credit card compliance, is all those rules that changed in October. Still, everybody's lagging behind. Somebody's going to have to get busted really bad before that takes hold. HIPAA's going to get tougher, but the reality is when you start a business, you're going to have a list of, these are the things you have to have. You have to have a business license. You have to have, a state tax ID. You have to have all these things. And computer compliance and cybersecurity is going to be on that list, and it will be government regulated.
So, Eric, it seems like one of the challenges is getting executives and IT managers to really understand the steps that they need to take to properly implement security.
It's analysis paralysis as far as there's a lot of options out there. They're not clear how to implement them. I was just on the phone with a big company that's sponsored by a very, very big organization, and they provide solutions, but from the average person looking at what they do, it's how do I integrate this? It's cool, we need it, but it's analysis paralysis. There are options out there, but it takes experts. And if you look at Silicon Valley, security experts are going for $300,000 a year plus. So the option is, okay, let's roll the dice. And so there's a lot of dice rolling going on right now. That's why there's so many breaches. It's not, hey, this just happened yesterday. It's accumulative over the last 5 or 6 years of just not doing anything because there's just nobody knows where to start.
So, well, a lot of it has to start with education. Mm-hmm. And, folks like you are certainly doing your share, talking about the topic. Who are the people that ideally you want to be educating within an organization? There's multiple levels, multiple kinds of decision makers. Who's the guy that you have to educate?
Well, obviously the IT group. However, they've been saying for years, hey, I need a bigger budget. I need a bigger budget. So the C-levels in a company are normally like, okay, you need more money again. You need to hire another person again. So it's the C-levels in a company. Because if you look at some of the big breaches that happen, they lost their jobs. The security experts, the CTOs, CIOs of companies, they will lose. They're the first to go on a data breach. Some presidents have to resign. Board members have to resign. Somebody's got to take responsibility because it is an expensive mistake.
How is it even possible for us in the industry, the cybersecurity industry, and the executives and the IT folks that you're talking about? Is it possible for them to stay ahead?
It's constantly rolling, and it's constantly happening quickly. There's been 3 or 4 major risks in software, Linux, Android, Windows, that have been released this week. What's called a 0-day. It means they just announced it and everybody can make something to take advantage of it. It is tough. And so you've got to rely on the tools out there, automation and experts, maybe even third-party companies, to feed in that information, because it's like staying up with Twitter. I mean, if you're not on there constantly, it's gone.
We're at a stage in terms of technology evolution that every company, every software manufacturer, every software developer, every hardware vendor, everybody's trying to get their latest and greatest products out to market as quickly as humanly possible. Does that play a role in security, and does it make it potentially easier for systems to be exposed?
Well, and the way they're doing that is they're all writing open source. Android is Linux-based. You've got even OS X, so Macintosh, again, it's a Linux variant, Windows, things like that. They're writing on open source technology, so if the underlying technology has a vulnerability, then everything built on top of it does. IoT breaks everything. When we start plugging things in, as simple as you think, I'm going to go get a thermostat and plug it into my network and control it remotely. Great, that's a savings. Somebody gets in there and hacks that, they can rack up thousands of dollars in energy bills. Something so simple as a thermostat. So it becomes real world, real money things that are affected now.
So really, it becomes, not only does the user or the business need to be educated, but the developers also there needs to be a level of education to ensure that, yes, we understand you want to get the product out to market, but you've got to take proper precautions to make sure that the security elements are implemented.
And that's often not happening because there's such pressure to bring new technologies and be the first to market. Everybody, I was at CES. The latest kick is get your fridge on the internet. Get your washer and dryer on the internet. And they're not thinking about what that means. Putting your washer and dryer on the internet could mean somebody could flood your basement. Those kind of things. And so the security that goes around it, they will come later as those events start to happen.
But Eric, the good news is you can get a text message in your living room that tells you that your laundry's dry.
There's always a cost of convenience. There's always a balance there, yep.
In any case, I really appreciate you spending some time with us. Enjoy the show, Eric.
Well, thank you very much.